Brian from the Tone Jerks here. This video I'm going to talk about my experiences and thoughts on the Line 6 HX Stomp. Okay, so I think about a year ago, I did a video on RJ of Teletalks, his channel, about the HX Stomp, kind of going over my thoughts on it. He's uses this heavy on his channel, and he likes it for the small studios kind of space and, you know, being a creative and demoing, all that stuff. This is kind of the one unit that you would want. It has, you know, you can do amp and guitar cabs, you can do effects all in this one unit. You can go direct to front of house, you can go to your monitor, you can use it as an interface. Has MIDI, has an effects loop, so you can use pedals and stuff like that of your own if you have your favorites. It's a pretty cool unit. So that's kind of to intro it. I didn't have the greatest experience with this. So to start off with, I bought this with my own money. This was not sent to me. I am not like a Line 6, YouTube demoer and be like, oh, let's give Brian one of these things. No, I've wanted it, I think, since trying it on RJ's video. I thought this would be really cool as a desktop unit, and I mainly use Fractal when I play live and record. I have an AX8, so AX8, kind of one of their older units. It's very big. It's maybe like 4 or 5 times the size of this thing. And I thought this would be cool as a desktop unit to just like quick flick this thing on to jam, silently at home, or to plug into my interface. And that was the plan for this thing. And then maybe a few months into owning it, it just kind of stopped working so well. The output would just kind of dim. Like, if you looked at your waveform on Pro Tools, which is the DAW that I use, it would go, and then the waveform would start, and then maybe sometimes it would come back. And a lot of times, there was no rhyme or reason for it. You turn it on and off, whatever, using stock presets or whatever, it would do the same thing. So contacted Line 6, and they said, well, just try rebooting it and resetting it. Didn't do anything. And the guy's like, well, okay, you can set it back, and we'll repair it. And I kind of looked online, and this had been a problem that a lot of people were had the same exact issue. And it could have been just the batch that I had, because a lot of people came up, and I had friends, and I had asked a buddy, Derek at the Tone Control, he also owns one, and RJ, obviously, Teletalks, and talking to him, like, nope, I've never had that issue. Yep, it's probably a user error. No, it was other people, too. So contacting Line 6, they kind of owned up, and they're like, yeah, send it back, and we'll take care of it. So I sent it back, and then about a week or so, got it back, and then I'm like, oh, cool, I'll start plugging it up. And then I noticed that my HX Stomp now turned into a percussion unit. It was shaking around. There was something in there rattling. It was like you could shake it and then go in a band or studio. I didn't know that was a feature for this. It's not. Jokes aside, I opened the thing up. There was a loose capacitor in it, so for one of the inputs. So if I ever decided to want to use this thing in stereo, I couldn't. The thing was broken. So I had to contact them again. And that's when, they took longer to respond. They're like, oh, what? Can you send those pictures back? Blah, 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 blah. They're kind of just dragging they're probably like, oh, shit, we fucked it up while we were repairing it. Whatever. Ended up getting it taken care of, and then got it back again. So, needless to say, about over a month and a half, I didn't have this thing to use. And, I was pissed. I was pissed off. If you heard on our podcast, I was livid. I guess livid would be a different word, but I was none too pleased about this thing. So, finally got it back, and I'm using it, and these are my thoughts on it. I will say that if I were, if this was the only thing I had, let's say I didn't have other amps, I didn't have, Fractal, or if I was using this to record, I was using it to play out, that would suck. So that's my initial thoughts, if I'm going to say the negative up front. That would suck. Of the reliability of this thing, and the fact that it's not an isolated issue. It's not just me, and you can see, that they did take care of me. So that's like, hey, Brian, well, they did fix it, did they? I'm like, yeah, but that was like a month. So if you're cool with being without something for a month, then these should be fine. Okay, so I'm done rambling and telling you my story about how this thing crapped out. But now it's working. So let's talk about the positives. It's the size of it, I think, and the power of this unit. It can do, like I said, the amps, the cabs, the effects, and all that shit. You can have it be your one-stop shop. this can be the unit for you. This can be, I'm going to play front of house. I'm going to do DI. I'm going to make this my interface because it has a USB as well. You can use it. I can have this go into my interface. I can have it part of my integrated setup. I can make this the effects of the whole rig. You can have it in front of an amp and have your dirt and your whatever going into a clean amp. You can have this going into like a power amp, a PA system, or whatever front of house. You can have this going into the effects loop of one of your favorite amps. If you like the drive of that amp, you can just use this for the effects. It's very cool. And the sounds of it are pretty good. Nobody asked, but I like the fractal stuff. All of it sounds better to me. So, and that thing never broke either. So take that for what it's worth. This one sounds pretty good too. So to say which one sounds better, it's marginally in a song and even in a live mix and a live situation, you're probably never going to tell. And that's, I think, with a lot of these units. I haven't played a lot of Kempers or even the new neural DSP or whatever, but it's like all that stuff is like it's getting to a point where you can't really tell a difference. So take that for what it's worth too. This sounds great. I made some presets using this and of how I would use it for recording, for writing music. That's what I wanted this tool for. So that's what I made some presets for guitar. I made some presets for bass so that you can just flip to them, just rotate, get to them. And so for guitar, I have some snapshots. So I have a clean, I have a high gain, and I have a high gain with effects. So that's my solo tone or whatever. And then for bass, I have a clean, I have a gain and gainier. So bass, I kind of kept it simple. I don't use any effects. So that's how I would use it. I made these presets downloadable so you can try them out for yourself. And let's check it out in a song, and then I do a playthrough using my presets that I made, and we'll come back. So it was kind of a rambly video in the beginning. If that's not what you came here for, sorry. Hopefully you just skipped to the playing part. But my thoughts on this, now that I've cooled down, I was a little hot. I was hot during the whole, I don't know, repair process or whatever, dose times repair process. I was none too pleased. But now that it's working and I'm using it, almost like, I don't know, every day, every other, I don't know, I'm using it a lot. I'm using it just for the headphones out too. I don't even have to record I don't have to turn my computer on or anything. I just plug in and get the sounds that I want and start jamming around. And, for a quick and easy, quiet setup, this is great. I don't know. As much as I want to keep shitting on it because maybe that's funny or whatever, this thing is pretty awesome. I don't know if I'm going to keep it. So I told you my whole story about how it shit on me and it pissed me off. I was really pissed. And I still don't know if I want to get rid of it. So take that for what it's worth. As much as I can say all the negative things and how much it sucks to like have something that you're like, don't go dying on me. It's still pretty good. So, up to you. What you think? Hopefully you dug the presets that I made. All of them are the stock cabs and everything, and you can just use it and get those sounds. And let's get out of here. If you like this type of video, like me rambling a little bit more, let me know in the comments. If you don't like that, I'll not do that next time. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.